Hey everyone, and welcome to the next video. It's been a few days since I came back from my holiday in Disneyland Paris. I just needed some time to just relax before the next video, but I'm back now and it was an amazing time. And in fact, this video is going to be telling you just a little bit about my amazing time. Today, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 rides at Disneyland Paris. Now, the rides I mentioned in the top 5 have to be the absolute best of the best. And this is what I think are the best of the best. So, let's do it. At number 5, at the bottom of the list, is Crush's Coaster, located in Walt Disney Studios Park. I have to admit, this coaster was pretty cool. You're essentially in a turtle shell as a coaster car. 2 of you are facing forward and the other 2 are facing backwards. And then you head outside, which is the only outside section of the coaster. Then you head around what looks like a traditional dark ride with all the lights and effects and Nemo and the characters. Then you climb up the hull of a ship and we see Bruce the shark bursting through the wall. And then the rest of the coaster is just a speedy ride through the ship. And the turtle shell actually spins as well. It's a spinning coaster, so you never know where you're going to be. You never know where you're going to be facing upwards, downwards, backwards, forwards, anywhere. It was absolutely fantastic. And then a little message from the Turtle Crush at the end. So yeah, if you guys ever want to have a trip to Disneyland Paris, then I highly recommend going on Crush's Coaster. But due to the spinning, I recommend not eating before you go on there. Anyway, at number 4 on the list is Big Thunder Mountain, one of the most iconic Disneyland rides, which is basically a mine train which will take you to the titular mountain. You start by going on a massive drop into the river and then climbing up over a waterfall. You might get a bit wet, and then going on a roller coaster ride across the mountains. It's absolutely fantastic. There's also a little underground section, like there's 2 tunnels that you have to go through, and another underground section which caps off with something I think which is new to the ride, because it wasn't there when I last went to Disneyland Paris. This big light show on the cave roof that looked like a mine blast, like a blast of dynamite, and there was even smoke coming out, and I wasn't expecting that, but above all else, it's a fantastic ride. It absolutely deserves the place at number 4. So if you guys want to have a thrilling ride on a train, then check out Big Thunder Mountain. Number 3 goes to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril. Now, this ride, I was very excited to ride, because after hearing about it, I was thinking to myself, oh, an Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland Paris. This I gotta see. Of course, I'm a big fan of the Indiana Jones movies. So to go on that ride was fantastic. It was essentially a roller coaster on 2 mine carts, and it's really strapped in because it's very, very fast. You basically climb up to see the titular Temple of Peril, then you go down all the corkscrews and inversions, and there's even a loop. Now, I wasn't expecting the loop. I was just not expecting the loop. And it is very, very fast. But the reason I enjoy it more than Big Thunder Mountain is because it was basically it looked a lot more fun. And it was just more like a traditional roller coaster. And Indiana Jones is a brilliant franchise. Of course, I went to go see the Dial of Destiny movie with my dad when it came out. I just thought it was brilliant. So if you guys want thrills, check out Temple of Peril. It's a good one. You can find it in the Adventureland section. And I should have mentioned this before, Big Thunder Mountain is in the Frontierland section of Disneyland Park. Number 2 goes to Star Tours. The adventures continue. Now, Star Tours has to be one of the best rides at Disneyland. In fact, it's one of the best simulator rides I've ever been on. You basically are strapped in this vehicle known as the Star Speeder 1000 as C-3PO takes you through the galaxy. And there's even different storylines you can get, like different storylines. Like you can end up on Hoth and then get a transmission from Ahsoka Tano, reprising her role as with Rosario Dawson reprising her role from the live action shows, or you could be at a pod race with Din Djarin and Grogu sending you a transmission, and I'm sure that's Pedro Pascal reprising his role under the helmet. I tell you, they really went all out to bring the actors back for these rides. But it was just extreme amounts of fun, and the 3D glasses that you wore really helped like increase the experience, because it really felt really authentic with them. In fact, I love the ride so much that in the Star Traders boutique that you got out of after you finished the ride, I got my very own Star Speeder 1000 as basically a toy with different lights and sound effects. It's basically an exact replica of the Star Speeder 1000 that you travel in. So yeah, Star Tours is an amazing ride, and if you want to check it out, then head over to the Discoveryland section of Walt Disney Studios, of Disneyland Park. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Now, before we get to our number one pick, I just want to go through some quick honourable mentions. First up, Peter Pan's Flight, which is essentially a dark ride that takes you through the events of the Peter Pan film. And I have to admit, the animatronics and the light effects, pretty good. And you even get to ride in your own ship. So the reason it's in the honourable mentions is there's not really much home to write about. So, you know, it is a good ride, and if you want to try it out, it's in the Fantasyland section. Spider-Man Web Adventure. Now, this is another simulator ride similar to Star Tours, except you're actually doing something, and you've got 3D glasses on. Spider-Man has created these spider bots, and you have to basically web them up and stop them from destroying Avengers Campus. And yes, it is located in the Avengers Campus section of Walt Disney Studios Park. The reason I'm putting it in the honourable mentions is because I was terrible. Every time me and my family went on it, we had our scores tracked by how many spider bots we could web up. And my score was always the lowest. I don't know why, but for some reason I was just terrible at it. I don't know why I was so bad. Anyway, the final honourable mention will be all of the like spinning rides like outside the big roller coasters, like the Orbitron in Discoveryland, or the Dumbo the Flying Elephant ride in Fantasyland. They're all very fun, and you can go up and down, but at the end of the day, it's just a fun little ride, and it's fun for the little kids. And I think it's just nice, relaxing. So, you know. Now, I also want to point out some dishonourable mentions. Ones that I did not like. The first one being Cars Road Trip in Walt Disney Studios Park. The reason I didn't like it is because it's a rehash of the Hollywood Studios tour, which ended with this big fiery explosion. And when I was a kid, I did not like that. And the memories of... And once we entered Cars-tastrophe Canyon, the memories of that just flooded me, because I knew something about this looked familiar. They'd just given it a Cars do-over. So I just had my head in my dad's lap all the way. Yes, I was that scared. But apart from that, it was a nice, relaxing ride. You can see all the Cars decor. But that whole thing, it kind of just ruins it for me. So that's why I'm putting it in the dishonorable mentions. There's one dishonorable mention that absolutely deserves to be a dishonorable mention. I read it once during my first trip to Disneyland back in 2008 when I was 5 years old, and I have hated the ride ever since. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Yes, many of you will be shocked to hear me dislike that ride, but it was terrifying. The drops, the ups, the downs, and all the sideshow stuff. It was absolutely terrifying. That ride basically is the worst Disneyland ride. And if you really want to be brave enough to give it a shot, then it's located at the Walt Disney Studios Park. I don't know why you'd want to ride the ride, but you do you. Me? I'm never going to ride that thing again. I needed to get that off my chest. Anyway, on to number one, which is Avengers Assemble Flight Force. Now, this was absolutely amazing. You're teaming up with Captain Marvel and Iron Man to stop the Kree from invading Earth in this hypersonic vehicle. And basically, It's actually a rebrand of the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster from many years ago. And honestly, I feel like I probably would have enjoyed that ride before it had the Marvel upgrade, because, you know, it's just a fantastic ride. You're shot out like my dad, to quote my dad here, you're shot out like a bullet from a gun. You're just really fast, and it's a dark ride. All the lights and effects, it's absolutely fantastic. It's honestly amazing. And if you guys want to try it out, you can see it at the Avengers campus in Walt Disney Studios Park. Avengers Assemble Flight Force, the best Disneyland Paris ride. I hope you all enjoyed this countdown. Let me know in the comments what you think is the best ride at Disneyland Paris and which ride you think is the worst. Do you agree with my choices? Do you disagree? Let me know. And until the next video, take care.